Welcome to the Garden of Ubuntu, here at the Garden World Spring Festival. And if you want to know what makes a garden Ubuntu, then you've got to stick with us. It comes together with pergolas, beautiful water features, recycled elements, stunning pots, and of course, gorgeous plants. This garden really does emulate all those beautiful things about bringing, sharing, and leaving for the next generation. In this section of the garden where the major planting takes place, we've got indigenous leonotis popping out through the beautiful bronze grasses, agapanthus underfoot, and then behind me, a few little daisies, white daisies, just to pop with color. But what I love about it are these pavers. They've been placed just slightly higher off the ground, so it almost looks like they're floating. A really clever design effect. So you walk into the garden, immersed with planting on either side of you, and then you're encouraged because you reach a turning point. Yeah, to go through to the other side. So come along and I'm going to show you what's there. Isn't this so cool? I mean, I'd love to have this in part of my garden. It's a water feature. It's a table where you can sit and enjoy a meal. It's also a recycling element with these crates that have literally been cable tied together to create an instant wall, hiding all that blandness behind them. And of course, within the crates, there are a whole lot of bug hotels, just like this one over here, with cans, a bit of terracotta, a few bits of wood, and then we've got up here, more there. I mean, I can't wait to see what little creatures are living inside there. But isn't this a really cool, easy way to create something where you need to store things? Plants, of course, we can see a few growing in here. This, to me, really shows off a great design element within any garden. And of course, anybody could do this. The more I walk in this garden, the more I love it. And for me, the standout elements are these really gorgeous, sexy aloe ferox. Aren't they fantastic? Look, when I'm standing next to them, yes, and I know I'm short, but you know what I'm saying. Look, they're quite tall, they look gorgeous. And the best part about most trees and aloes are their beautiful stems. Now, most of us would leave all these bits hanging down here, but they've been trimmed and pruned and cleaned up, and these textures are just so wicked, absolutely gorgeous. And behind it, in these big whorls, they're the tops of those cable. You know, you see them on the sides of the road where they've got the cable that they're busy rolling out to lay some kind of Eskom line. But what a clever use of them, just popped against the wall to create a bit of interest. And of course, what they're doing is they're framing these gorgeous aloes in the pots. I mean, stunning. Now this is simple, easy design that could be done anywhere. So this is the part of the garden where you sit back and relax and look over the creation, which is Ubuntu. And Ubuntu is the coming together, the leaving behind of legacies, of recyclable elements for others and for the other generations. And that is done so beautifully here. It's about taking things and repurposing them. And it's something as simple as these bulbs in front of me that can be grown and flowered, and then in the next season could be planted out into the garden. The table that has been manufactured out of literally some pieces of wood, timber that you can pick up from any hardware store. And the simplicity of, look down below me, of a fake hide that's been cut out of a little bit of astroturf. I mean, it really is spectacular, and it's showing me how different elements and elements that we might take for granted can be simply recycled in a garden space. And of course, holding it all together in the area that I'm sitting in is the wonderful pergola, which has been used of recycled or reclaimed bits of metal and steel welded together. Very funky indeed, and what a cool space to hang out in. What this garden really brings home to me is the fact that you can use bits and pieces that might be lying around in your garden or around when you're traveling, and bring them home, give them a spray paint, find a few pieces of slate and put them down in your garden and make them your own. Give them a place. Whether it's some pebbles that you've collected, whether it's the tops of those huge big wooden circles that they use for the cables, there is something that has a place for all of those things. And we can give them that space within our own gardens. And what it does mean for me is that you don't need to have a bank balance this big to be able to garden. Take anything that you can find, recycle it, repurpose it, and give it a place in your home. This has been truly amazing, and I hope that you have been inspired to take home some bits and put it in your garden back home.